Good morning. Welcome to the Go Training HR Matters End of Deployment. My name is Zeid. I work in the HR Emergencies, HQ, and I will walk you through this presentation today. So by the end of this submodule, you should be able to describe what actions you need to take before the end of deployment to ensure proper handover and debriefing. The administrative officer and the HR focal point in the country office are primarily responsible for coordinating and taking action to end the staff member or the consultant deployment, because the staff member and the consultant and the deployee are present in the field. So this is why you are the focal point for this section. The Health Emergencies Human Resources Team, HQ HR team, in the Management and Administration Department HQ would support you and oversee the process, and we will backfill for you and take any relevant actions required. So how do we end deployment? The incident manager and the WR, with the support of the HR focal point and the admin officer, monitors the HR requirements and make decisions accordingly whether to extend or separate the staff member or the consultant. So if we are going to separate, at least 4 weeks prior to the end of temporary appointment, the first level supervisor or the HR focal point should inform the staff member that the contract will not be extended and the separation formalities should start. The HR focal point will notify the staff member about what formalities needs to be done, provides guidance on the completion of the clearance certificate and all the other formalities that we will be going through now. So one of the most important documents that we need to complete at the end of the deployment is the performance evaluation form. This is completed for any deployee, whether it's a staff member or a consultant. The difference that we have two different forms. So for staff members, we complete evaluation form for the temporary staff. It should be signed by the first and second level supervisors and discussed with the staff member. For the consultants, we complete Form B14, and this should be discussed between the consultant and his manager. At the end of the process, the performance evaluation forms are signed and a copy to be sent to the HQ HR team. This is part of our roster management, so that we include it in the file of the staff member or the consultant. What is the separation process? So the separation process have two folds. One to do with the HR focal point and the other one to do with the deployee and his supervisors. So for the HR focal point, to separate a staff member, you need to initiate a separation act in GSM. And the HR focal point responsible for this is the one who has the position in their HR work plan. So if the position sits in the country office HR work plan, then it's the HR focal point in the country office who will take this action. If the position is in the HQ HR work plan, then it's the HQ HR focal point who will initiate the separation. In all cases, the HR focal point in the country office will inform the staff member about her or his related entitlements and benefits and coordinate with the Global Service Desk, the Global Service Center, the repatriation travel arrangements. For the external candidates or consultant contracts or standby partner deployees, the HR focal point will inform the consultant or the deployee of the actions that he/she needs to complete. They will assist them in the repatriation travel arrangements. And in this regard, if the consultant contract was issued by the HR focal point in the regional office or at the HQ level, then the HR focal point there will facilitate the repatriation travel. If the consultant contract was issued by the country office, then the HR focal point in the country office will facilitate the repatriation travel. The HR focal point also to ensure that the consultant completes the separation process that we will explain in the next slide. And once all the process is finalized, the HQ HR team or the HR focal point who initiated the consultant contract will initiate the relevant end of assignment formalities in GSM, which includes receiving the end of mission and performance evaluation reports. Then this will enable them to initiate the final payment in GSM. The separation process. This is now what should a staff member do before he leaves the organization. First and most importantly, the staff member needs to prepare handover notes. And this sort of the technical briefing that he leaves behind, capturing what he did during his assignments, his KPIs, and the deliverables. And this must be cleared by the first level supervisor, which is mostly the incident manager and or the WR. The clearance certificate must be completed, and the HR focal point will guide the staff member on how to complete the clearance certificate, get it signed by all the relevant concerned, and then a copy to be sent to the Global Service Center. Without sending this, maybe this could affect the payment of the final entitlements. A performance evaluation form, as we discussed before, it's form E852, must be completed by the staff member and the first level and second level supervisors and signed. Once this performance evaluation form is signed, the HR focal point to send to the WHE HQ HR team a copy so that we can include it in the external candidate's roster profile for future references. The staff member is encouraged to have an in-country debrief, technical debrief, as well as an HR exit interview. And if required, and this is done for the senior positions in particular, we can arrange a debriefing with the HQ or the regional office team managing the event response. So to capture, 3 main documents needs to be prepared by the staff member. 1, handover notes. 2, clearance certificate. 3, performance evaluation form. Separation process for consultants and standby partner deployees or partner deployees. So there is the end of mission report. There is a template that the consultant needs to prepare in addition to the handover notes. And these must be cleared by the manager, the incident manager, and or the head of country office. Performance evaluation form, form B14, must be completed by the consultant/deployee and the manager. Once completed, the end of mission report and the performance evaluation form are sent to the WHE HQ HR team for inclusion in the consultant's roster profile for future reference. Also, these documents are essential to release the final payment. So once the HR focal point who issued the consultant contract receives the end of mission report and the evaluation form, they should initiate the final payment in GSM and release it. The consultant is encouraged to have an in-country technical debrief as well as an HR exit interview. So 3 main documents here: end of mission report, handover notes, performance evaluation form. The clearance process. Before we let the staff member, the consultant, or the deployee out of the country office door, the admin officer or the HR focal point should ensure that they have returned the following items, and this is part of the clearance process: the official WHO ID/pass and the UN document, whether it's the UNLP for the staff member or the UNC for the consultant, and any communication or IT equipment like a SIM card, a laptop, or whatever. So this needs to be ensured before the staff member or the consultant leaves the country office or leaves the country. References. So to facilitate your mission, we have prepared some checklists that you can follow. So we have a separation checklist for staff, separation checklist for consultants, the performance evaluation form for staff, E852, performance evaluation form for consultants, B14, and end of mission technical report form, which is used by consultants, GORN deployees. And all these references can be accessed through the workspace for the MGE WHQ, and here is the link for easy reference. Thank you and good luck.